Hi students, this lesson is 4.1, the coordinate plane. With chapter 4, we are going to be working with the coordinate plane. So this first section right here gets into some of the basics within the coordinate plane. So here's an example of what a coordinate plane looks like, and you might have worked with a coordinate plane before, but we're going to review this just to refresh your memory. Here we have a coordinate plane, and the x-axis goes left and right, whereas the y-axis goes up and down. And then you have the origin of your coordinate plane, which is the point 0, 0, and I have it labeled right here. So I have your x-axis labeled, I have your y-axis labeled, and then the origin is 0, 0, and I have a point right there. So this is what the coordinate plane looks like, and in this section, they're going to have you plot points on the coordinate plane and recognize different quadrants within the coordinate plane. So as I just mentioned, you're going to look at quadrants within your coordinate plane. The x and y axis, they are divided into 4 regions called quadrants. You can tell which quadrant a point is in by looking at the signs of its coordinates. So for instance, here we have quadrant 1. In quadrant 1, your x-axis value will be a positive and your y-axis value will be positive. In quadrant 2, your x-axis value is negative, whereas your y-axis value is positive. Quadrant 3, both are negative. In quadrant 4, your x-axis is positive and your y-axis is negative. So you're going to have to recognize points on your coordinate plane and determine whether it's in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4. And this is what it looks like. As you're writing these notes, I need you writing everything down, all the words, and the examples of what you see with the coordinate planes and everything. So let's just get started with some examples of what you're going to see in the bookwork. So for example, when it says write the ordered pair that corresponds to points A, B, and C, not D. So for point A, it's right here. You always start, when you're labeling your points, you always start at the origin, and then you go along the horizontal, the x-axis first. So from here, at the origin 0, 0, we're going to jump 1, 2, 3 units to the left. So that would be my x. So for A, my x, and when you're labeling, x always comes first and y that comes second. So x is negative 3 for A, and then from there we're going to go up 1, 2. We go up 2 places, which would be a positive 2, and that would be my ordered pair for point A. For point B, again, we start at the origin, always starting at the origin. Here we go to the right 1, so going along the x-axis, that's going to be a positive 1. And then from there we go up 1, 2, 3 points, so that would be a positive 3, and that would be my ordered pair for point B. For point C, we start at the origin again, always starting at the origin, and we go to the right 4 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that would be 4 for my x-axis. Now for my y, we don't go up or down because it lies right on that x-axis, so that would just be 0. And that's how we go about labeling our points, giving them ordered pairs within the coordinate plane. Example number 2, they want us now they're giving us coordinate ordered pairs, and they want us to plot them on this coordinate plane here. So for the first one we have here is 3, 4. I'll label this A, and I'll label the second one here B. So A, we have here 3, 4. So again, starting at the origin, we go 1, 2, 3, and up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll label that A, and I can label this 3, 4. And then for B, we have negative 2, negative 3. So again, starting at the origin, we go to the left now 2 places, 1, 2, and go down 3, 1, 2, 3. And we label that point there B. Again, you can give it the ordered pairs negative 2, negative 3. And that's my answer for this. Working with this with students in the past, you have to pay close attention and detail to how you're counting on the coordinate plane, because sometimes I notice students will be 1 off or 2 off with the points, so make sure you're paying close attention to how you're plotting your points on the coordinate plane. Last type of question you'll see in this first section of Chapter 4 is naming the quadrant the point is in. So going back to that chart we had with quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to decide, looking at the ordered pairs, your x value and your y value, does this fall in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4? Well, if it helps you, you can draw your coordinate plane. Remember, quadrant 1 is here in the upper right corner. Quadrant 2 is in the upper left, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So -5 common -3, that's both -x and -y. Well, remember, -x and -y is going to be in quadrant 3, so we can label this as quadrant 3. And then for B here, we have +4, -1. So positive means my x value is positive, my y value is negative. Well, that's going to be my quadrant 4 when your x is positive and your y is negative. So I will say this is in quadrant 4, and that will be my answer for A and B for example 3. So that is it for this section, and you will do some bookwork in class.